You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, Fashion 411, featuring the week's roundup of fashion news. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, Fashion 411.
I haven't seen anything. I like surprises too much.
Yay! Woohoo! All right, so if you're tuning in right now, this is Black Hollywood Live, and it's Fashion 411, and I just have to let all of you know that we are the #1 fashion podcast on iTunes. Woo!
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys, because you made it
Downloading.
happen. Yeah, thanks for the downloads. And you can also find us as a new and noteworthy podcast right on the front page of iTunes.
Tell your friends.
Yes.
We're
Tell-
taking over.
Tell everybody.
Tell
We're
everyone.
taking over the fashion world, and we owe that all to you. And I just want you guys to keep in mind, we're going to be showing lots of fantastic, fun pictures, and you can follow along by checking those pictures out on blackhollywoodlive.com. And I think we need to go around the room and introduce everyone. We have a special guest with us in the house today, and we're going to get to him in a hot second. Let's see, I'll go first. I'm Deanna Vaughn. I'm your former New York City fashion buyer turned go-to girl for looking fabulous for less. I'm going to bring you the runway to the real way. Who's next?
Nice intro, Gianna. I'll go. Hi, I'm your host, Erica Garcia Rojas, your spicy Latina born and raised in LA, who turned my love for fashion into a business, Rally Babe Apparel. I am your go-to source for all things related to business and fashion.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm your other host on the panel here. My name is Courtney Stewart. I am your resident fashionista shopaholic. I'm just like all you girls out there. I'm just a consumer, all up in the fashion biz, trying to learn some more and share what I know.
All right. And so we have a special guest sitting with us today. He is a celebrity stylist extraordinaire, and his name is Daniel Musto.
Hi.
Look
Hello,
at
everybody.
him.
Oh, we got the whole crowd applauding.
Barry Debonair today.
So Daniel is going to help us, dish some fashion for Black Hollywood Live, and also we're
A
gonna
little bit.
play some fun little games and get to learn a little bit more about, the life of a celebrity stylist in
Yay.
Hollywood. So Daniel, we like to, we've got these fun segments here on Fashion 411. The first one, it's who, what, where.
Yeah.
And where, it's not W-H-E-R-E, it's W-E-A-R. So
Yeah, because we're
what
wearing
are they
it.
wearing?
What is
So,
going on?
first up, we have our little picture up. First up, all right, so it's Miss Beyonce. And this has been all the rage, all the talk. She has got a new haircut. It's a pixie cut. I have different opinions about this. It's funny because it was on The View and it was on lots of different, just
everywhere.
It was everywhere,
Yeah.
Beyonce's new haircut. I happen to think it's just a new lace front wig, but
I think it's just the hair that was there the whole time. And they just took everything
Or
else
that.
away.
That has been debated repeatedly, but Kim Kimball has said she confirmed that it is not a wig, people. She cut her hair off, and it was just as shocking to her as it was to the rest of
Wow.
us. And they are apparently working on a music video really soon.
Okay.
So she had all these long extensions prepared and was so excited. And she said now she's got to change up what she was trying to go for, so she doesn't know.
Wow. I think it looks great on her. I think she's got great bone structure. She's got a face that can carry it off. But the other funny thing that I heard, how a couple weeks ago her hair got stuck in the fan at one of her concerts. So somebody is
boy.
saying, well, maybe this was the result. She had to cut all her hair
Half
off.
of it was gone. They
Because
had
it
to
was
even
in
it
the
out.
fan. Yeah. So I think she looks fantastic. It's a great new look. But, she's one of those people. She's got to change up her look, She's got to do something different. She's got to reinvent herself. And this is the new Mrs. Carter, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, she's got a beautiful face. I mean, she can pull it off definitely in the face. I would want to see a full body of her because I think for her, so much of her look is her hair, and she's definitely got a voluptuous figure.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I imagine these pixie cuts on these pixie girls, and they're tiny and all that. And I don't know. To me, it's beautiful, but it's not Beyonce.
I'm gonna stop you for a quick second. You just said something, and I gotta ask you about it. You
Yeah.
said she has a voluptuous figure.
Yes.
You think her figure's voluptuous?
Yeah.
Really?
Interesting.
Interesting. So what makes her figure voluptuous to you?
to me. I don't know. She's. I wouldn't say she's a tiny little petite girl at all. She's, you know, she's got curves.
She's got curves.
Yeah,
That
that's a
is
good
true.
thing.
I
She's
wouldn't-
got a booty.
I think
she's
she
got.
has a natural shape to her structure of
Yes.
herself,
Mhm.
of which could make her look like a pinhead if she doesn't have hair on top.
Interesting.
But I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say so.
Yeah, I think that I am not my hair, and I think that it is fantastic because it's funny that you said so much of what she's known for is this hair thing, and
Yeah.
it's a very black girl thing to like. It's a real risk to really chop your hair
It
off
is,
like that.
yeah.
And I think that it's a statement in itself saying I don't have to be that. I don't have to be the blonde, long-haired Beyonce because she's gotten a lot of flack, especially from the black community, of just being this. I'm light-skinned, I'm blonde-haired all
Yeah.
the time, and she's gotten more blonded out throughout the years and the long hair thing. So I think it's a statement on her part, like I am not about the hair. It is just as easily short and fabulous as it is long. So
I see that.
I think it's a statement of power.
She ends up looking like in those Pepsi ads. She looks like Britney. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
she
doesn't
does.
even look like
Yeah.
Beyonce.
It
It looks like
doesn't.
a whole different person. So I see this being a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Alrighty. So who do we have up next? We've got the Real, one of the hosts from the Real, Adrienne Bailon. She is at a G-Shock Shock the World event in New York City. She's looking pretty cute. Like, it's kind of hard to tell from the picture, but she's got on a pair of cheetah, like it's a leopard print pants. She's got a nude shoe, cute white jacket, white bustier. What do you think, Mr. Resident Celebrity Stylist?
I love that her midriff is barely showing. I love that
Yes.
it's not overt the way, like, Selena Gomez does it because she's like 11 and she can. But the way she's doing it shows the trend
Yeah.
without pushing it too far. And she covered up her shoulders, which is important because when you're showing off cleavage and a little bit of belly, you need to be careful. And I used to be scared of the ankle strap with the pant.
Yeah.
But then when I was actually dressing Louise Rowe for Fashion Star, we tried a shoe like that and I hated it. And she was like, I'm doing it. I love it. This is what I'm wearing. And I ended up falling in love with it. So
Right.
I like that
Louise
too.
is really tall.
She's really
and
tall.
I think with that ankle strap and the pant and everything, I think having those legs and being that tall is a lot easier to pull off than somebody that's
It's almost like
petite.
if Adrienne had a lower waistline on the pant. Because it is higher, it makes her legs look longer. But if it was a low waist pant, it might look too stumpy with all of that. But it definitely looks long because of the proportions.
She's looking
love it.
hot.
I love
Fair,
it.
I love it.
Yeah,
Looks
she looks
so
great.
good, head to
Animal
toe.
print.
And I think she looks a little bit more mature because I think out of
I was
that
just
cast,
gonna say that, yeah.
she's definitely one of the younger, hosts. And I think she looks like a mature woman, and I think she looks good.
She looks like a grown woman.
She was in a
Grown
band with a
woman.
girl I know from my hometown in New Jersey, and I remember when we went to see them open for NSYNC in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And I saw Adrienne at a party recently, and I hadn't seen her in like 13 years. And I was like, you know me,
I
She's
remember
like,
when, girl.
minus the mushroom cut and the eyeglasses.
All right, next up, who do we have? Okay, so this is Condola Rashad, and if you guys don't know who she is, she's actually a very talented Broadway actress, and this is also Orlando Bloom standing next to her. They are going to be on Broadway in William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. It actually hits Broadway, I believe, September 19th, and she is wearing a pair of those, wedge sneakers we're seeing all over the place. Yeah, it's the Isabel Marant. That's what she's wearing, and she's wearing them with, a free-flowing floral dress. What do we think here? What?
I think a few things. First of all, those shoes were first worn by people looking to make a statement, and now they're being worn by girls who want to be comfortable, which is great.
Yeah.
They've
I'm
shifted into like everyone in Michigan now has them, okay? So to wear them for a press something or other, I think is a little weird because we are past that. But, if she was walking down Robertson, it'd be okay. And she also, like, I know that they're trying to do like black girl, white guy, love that, but she almost looks like dressed like a white girl. It kind of has that whole like
Interesting
Whitewash. It
comments.
has a whitewash look to
What,
it.
the shoe or
the whole thing.
Really?
I need a little more
Well,
like
see,
figure out of her.
I always feel like the dress is like so literal. Is it like the roses and all that because of Romeo and Juliet and the love and
Maybe.
heart? So
Yeah.
that's what I thought when
Yeah,
I saw this.
agreed.
It just the whole thing was kind of literal, and the shoes. Although I'm a fan, and Daniel, you're right. I wear them because they're comfortable
Yeah.
and because I'm 5 feet tall and they provide a hidden like heel. So, but this was weird to me because it's like, is this a costume kind of thing she's going with, or is this she just wanted to be literal with the dress and kind of throw in the sneakers? It's confusing. The whole thing's She looks cute, but I think it's
She
confusing.
She's got
looks
great
adorable.
calves.
Yeah.
I do love her
If
calves.
she was here, I'd tell her she's adorable.
Her legs are
Her legs
amazing.
look great, but yeah, I don't get the point at
Yeah.
all.
All right, next up we have, okay, this is B. Scott. Now, I don't know if you guys heard the controversy, but B. Scott is a very well-known transgendered model, host, personality, and I don't know if I should refer to B. Scott as he or she. I'm not sure.
She girl.
Okay, she girl. Well, anyway, this is a picture from the 2013 BET Awards, which was just a couple weeks ago. And BET asked B. Scott to, do the red carpet, interview celebrities, blah, blah, blah. Now, initially, B. Scott came out with this outfit on the left, which is, an outfit that is suitable for a woman, I guess you would say. And then the minute that they saw him, him, in the outfit, they ushered him off and told him to change clothes. They didn't like the fact that he came out wearing something that was feminine. So they made him change into the outfit on the right. And now he's suing BET for a very large sum of money. And I don't know, I just thought this was interesting. Just
Yeah,
the whole situation.
Let us say that allegedly,
yes.
BET told him to change into something more masculine, and he never came directly and said they made me put on something more masculine. He just alluded to it that I was in my garb. They know what I am. They know who I am, and they hired me. So when I got there and they told me to change, that was wrong. So that's why he is suing. But it was a whole interesting fiasco around the BET Awards.
And you were there.
And I was
Did
there, and we saw him actually as we were headed into the press room. And B. Scott's energy is usually like 5,000 all the time. This obviously really affected him because even heading into the press room and, the crowds of people walking, he just was sort of in his own space. I don't know if it was anger. I don't know what it was. We didn't get to talk, but his energy was definitely sort of not in that, oh my God, I just got my BET job, like I just hosted in it. So it definitely was a very unpleasant experience for him, her, however you want to say it.
Well, now we know why.
yeah.
So the news has broke that he is, pressing
Definitely going to go
charge.
forward to suing him.
Yeah, and then finally in Who, What, Where, it's kind of, okay, this picture, it's white and it's a carousel, and what's missing from this picture? Can anybody tell what's missing from this picture? I'll just tell you. Essentially, this is a picture. It was in the New York Times. It was an article about fashion's blind spot, and they were interviewing Andre Leon Talley. And this is a subject that we've talked about many times on BHL. And exactly, where's the color? But this was a picture from the article. So I don't know. I thought it was very timely because we've talked about this quite a bit. We talked about Prada, and we've talked about the absence of color on the runways. And here goes again another huge article with Andre Leon Talley and lots of great, sentiments, things that have come up before. I would love your take on this, Daniel, as a celebrity stylist. What do you think about the lack of Black models, the lack of color when it comes to runways and fashion shows and representation?
I think you need everything because it's almost like the great outfit. That everything gets leveled out with different colors mixing together. If you have dark hair, it's great to throw on some dark shoes because it kind of cleans everything up and completes it.
Yeah.
So in a photo where you have photo, runway show, anything, where you're going to have an array of girls, you need a real array of girls.
Right. Yeah.
Because
it's come up quite a bit.
it's not 1910.
Yeah.
Right.
How aren't we past
Like,
this?
why are we still talking about this?
It's bizarre that it keeps on having to be injected back into our conversation.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think puts us a few steps forward. And I also, when I looked at it, I was like, okay, this could be like 4 girls and then mirrors that make it look like there's a million and they didn't put a Black girl in there. But then you actually look around and there are a ton of people.
Yeah.
It is weird. It's a little like, what's that Reese Witherspoon movie that I hated? Where like they all live on the water and everything's perfect.
Pleasantville. Pleasantville, yeah.
It's very like Pleasantville to me. It feels too pure.
It's uncomfortable, actually.
And Talley, he brought up some really great points in the article. He said, with all of his fashion credits, because he's been editor at large for Vogue for many years, but with all of his fashion credits, he has never, ever been editor-in-chief for a major magazine publication. Never. And at this point, there are only, I believe he mentioned 3. And 3 after all these years, wah wah, So I don't know. I just thought that was just very timely and interesting because we tend to, it comes up a lot on our show, just about about that kind of stuff.
But then I
Black
do see, New
Hollywood.
York Fashion Week, you see the beautiful, like, bald black women who have really dark skin and the clothes really pop, and they show that off so beautifully. So sometimes you see it a lot, and sometimes you can see that someone's mentality isn't on the right page.
Exactly. Exactly. So now it's time for a little scoop, a little style scoop from Miss Erica.
Scoop
All
going
right,
on.
so
Oh,
we've
boy.
got your weekly
Scoopy scoop.
style scoop. Okay, so first off, Kim K is at it again. If you can't get enough from Miss Kardashian, she has now said that she's going to start a clothing line for kids.
That makes
According
sense.
to New York Daily News. Yeah, they got to have their hands in everything.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. According to friend and stylist Lloyd Klein, Kim Kardashian has already put plans in motion to launch a children's line, noting that her daughter, North, would make a great poster child. It's not known if Kim's actually going to be using North to model for the
Please
product,
don't.
but there's
Please
plans
don't.
for a clothing line.
Wow, we have someone sitting right here with us who you were recently featured on Chris.
Oh, yeah, I
Kardashian
was. I was
show.
on her mom's show.
Yes. So did you, any talk about the baby?
Did you
and
get
did
a
you hear
sneak
any
peek?
sneak peeks or anything?
I didn't hear anything. I was actually on the second episode, so I was on the one after she faked the audience out with the baby,
yeah.
which
Okay.
I thought was a little cruel. I'm glad I wasn't a part of that one. But no, I didn't hear anything. But I know that, when you have an empire like this, you can make those choices to do what you please, and then if they work out, they work out. If they
And
don't,
if they don't,
don't.
exactly.
Making money.
So
And you know what? I think before they started Dash, the mom actually had a kids store
Yeah.
somewhere in Calabasas. So I don't think that her having a kids line is that far
Far
off from
from
what they've
their
been
history.
doing.
Well, I
their
mean, they
history.
have that line with Ipsy that we talked about,
Yeah.
the collaboration. They're
Uh-huh.
at Kohl's.
Right.
So, I mean,
Keep
cash
expanding.
is king in the Kardashian world.
and I don't think a larger number of pieces to be available to children that are from a space of which are out, like thinking outside the box. It's important that,
It would be cool to see.
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Let her do
Just
it.
don't hoe out Nori.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Please don't.
But in order to be part of that family, you have to
You have
be
to
out
be
there.
pimped
I
out.
mean,
I know, right?
you can't not be.
I know.
All right, so up next, we've got Sarah Jessica Parker, and she collaborates with Manolo Blahnik. So
course.
she
Perfect.
stays true to her
Thank
Carrie
you.
Bradshaw Sex and the City roots with an upcoming collaboration. SJP graces a cover of September's Harper's Bazaar and gives us a little scoop. Expect feminine shapes, plenty of low heels, and unusual color combinations like navy and mocha, says Kathy Horan, Bazaar writer and celebrated fashion critic. The collection is moderately priced from $250 to $450, and I personally cannot wait to see what she comes up with.
I know.
Who
I
put the
just-
word moderately in that sentence?
Moderately. Well, 250 to 450
For Manolo Blahnik?
Yeah.
That's-
Oh, for Manolo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
but
I
not
thought you
for
meant
the
for
everyday
all my
woman.
friends.
Yeah.
Obviously, that.
But for Manolo's, it's a pretty good price range.
Yeah.
And that was specific to what her vision was also.
Gotcha.
And she was also looking for the low heel thing, even though that doesn't excite me at all.
Oh.
I get it. She was talking recently about her foot problems and how she's in flats and stuff all the time. So it goes right along with that. Make beautiful shoes for the lower heeled and flat wearers.
I'm happy to see this. And I don't know if you guys remember, but like maybe 6 years ago.
Stephen Barry's.
Yes, she had that line at Stephen Barry's.
That's
it was
right.
great.
Yes.
I even
she-
have a few
really
of her
great.
pieces.
I have a few pieces
Yes.
too. That was
Yes.
that she had the greatest stuff. It was
Yes.
called Bitten. It was a great price points, and Stephen Barry's went out.
So
They went out of
literally,
business.
They went out of business. It was so sad. Best
Yeah.
jacket. I wore that jacket for years.
She had
Yeah.
great pieces. It was right in Herald Square,
Yeah.
right across from Macy's. I loved her line,
Yeah.
and so I'm happy to see that she's coming back with a
yeah.
collaboration. I only wish she would
Do more.
do more,
Yeah.
but and do it like at affordable prices. You know, so I
She
love
will.
it.
It's
will
next.
eventually.
You know
Yeah.
it's next.
Yeah. What's up next, Erica?
All right, so we've got Miss Oprah Winfrey, and she's sporting her what she likes to call wild thing 3.5-pound wig on the latest cover of O magazine. So in her monthly magazine column, according to Daily Mail, Oprah described the experience as carrying around an extra head. Oprah loved the new look. That she made it her profile picture on Facebook and Twitter. She said, quote, just revealed this new cover of O, one of my favorites ever. Love this cover so much, I'm making it my new profile pic. For almost 30 years, she wrote this in her magazine. I've had the luxury of a hairdresser, Andre Walker, who loves all kinds of textures and adores experimenting. I wish I could say it was all mine. My own hair is shorter, not quite as spherical, and a lot lighter. But it doesn't mean it never gives me grief. Yeah, when it comes to hair, I'm in the same boat as most every other woman, says Oprah.
Well, we've got Miss Courtney in the studio. I wish you guys could see her, but she is sporting her own fantastic fro, and it
It's so
looks
good.
great.
Yes.
Oh,
In all natural since before it was popular. But yeah, God, I love that cover.
yeah, it's fantastic.
I think it's interesting because there's been a lot of chatter, so to speak, online about the cover, of course, and it just makes me laugh that still, and I mean, technically that hair, obviously it's fuller and thicker than her natural hair would be, but the idea that an afro brings so much attention, I mean, nobody cares if we get editorials with white women with hair down to their butts or what have you, that would be a black woman's hair just blown out in its natural state. Like,
Right.
why is it such a problem? And there were people like making horrible comments, and then there are people that are making exciting comments, and it's just kind of interesting that, again, we're still...
I love when people make horrible comments because it makes me know not to talk to those people.
Yeah.
It like automatically gets them out of my life.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even need to interact
Thank
with
you
you at
for
all.
deciding that
Thank
for
you
me.
for
And
sharing
what
that
can you say
initially.
horrible about it? I mean, this is awesome. It's so, and
They-
in some ways for Oprah, being the business person, everything that she has, bad and good comments are all good because it's
Of
just
course.
bringing
Attention.
publicity to her magazine. But this is such a cool cover with
I think even without the hair, her face in this shot is great
gorgeous.
because it's
Yeah.
truly embodying the fact that she's doing something different and she was on set and she was excited. This is a woman who's
Yes.
photographed every day of her life.
Exactly.
And, you know, being photographed could get boring after a quick minute.
Well, and also she's on the cover of every single month of her magazine.
Yeah.
And you
Coming
know,
up with new ideas and trying to do
Yeah.
something different, like, I'm sure it gets old
Yeah.
real fast.
this will
but-
catch people's attention for sure.
I love the
looks
angle
great.
of her body. I love that it has an S shape to it. I think it's just super appealing. And the fact that the editor did hair really big, it just feels like it brings back a memory of something. And
And the photo on the right, that's her sporting the same look or, similar to the premiere of her new movie, The Butler. So she said, she's like, I loved it. I kind of
Yeah.
want to hold on to that same look.
Yeah.
And so she was looking amazing.
Her
If you see
waistline
her-
looks
Yeah,
great.
her
Yeah.
body
She is
looks
spanking it up.
fantastic.
Mhm.
So
She looks
good.
good.
double
So-
spanking.
Good.
Yeah.
She
Double
looks
Something we call
real
double
good.
spanking.
Holding it in.
All right. So on that note, moving on to Copenhagen Fashion Week. So fashion goes eco-friendly at the upcoming Copenhagen Fashion Week. There will be a giant citywide free clothing swap to support the event's
Oh.
commitment to sustainability.
Awesome.
According to Denmark's Minister of the Environment, Ida Auken, who will be speaking at the event, the fashion industry is amongst the industries that have the most adverse impact on health and environment. Therefore, it is important that the fashion industry takes responsibility of prolonging the life of their products. Another green fashion initiative during that fashion week is the Green Walk. It's in which worldwide retailer H&M is participating. Basically, the Green Walk is going to be the name of the new route through the shopping streets of Copenhagen, featuring shops that do something special for the environment. According to H&M, we look forward to conveying the initiatives that H&M is taking to become more sustainable through our conscious collection and new recycling system. So, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, that's a good move.
that's
I love
great.
that. I always tell people never to loan someone something without having them loan you something at the same time, so that you they
equal
don't owe you it
exchange.
back. So there's always something, so you can say, I'll give you this back when you give me mine back, because a lot of times that
That
can
is
break
so
friendships
true.
up.
It's a great
So
tip.
this is a fun
done that with
citywide
my
version of that system.
Great tip.
I
doing
think
that
it's
with my sister.
fantastic because being in the production side myself, having the clothing line, I mean, you just see, you go into your factories and the factories that you work with, and it's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces, and they're constantly being produced, and they're just always coming out with so many more. And I do think about it. I do think, do we need,
Waste.
well, do we need all these new clothes? No.
Yeah.
All the advertisements out there is getting us to buy all the time. New clothing, new styles, new fashion. And what happens to everything else? It just gets either donated or dumped into landfills.
Or it's
Yeah.
stuck in my closet.
Yeah,
in the room, and then I can't give it away.
Yeah. And so going towards this direction of clothing swaps, but also utilizing fabrics that have been used in the past. Like we have an organic line as well that we have, and it's using recycled materials, recycled fabrics, and it's so important as manufacturers to start thinking about this. And I think this is absolutely fantastic when I read about it. And you know, they're leading the way for other countries, other places of the world to do the
catch
same.
on.
And you get new clothes for free. That's so
That
fun.
is so
Yeah,
fun.
that is
We're
fun.
too ashamed to ask for it, so they're doing it for us. So we
That's
show up.
There you go. That's so true.
Well, you just gotta wash. Everything's gotta be washed and cleaned.
Hot water.
And environmentally safe
Dry cleaning will
ingredients.
be up in Copenhagen.
But I think it's amazing. So, and sticking with H&M, last but not least, they fired supermodel Cara Delevingne. According to UK tabloid The Sun, supermodel and Victoria's Secret model Cara Delevingne is fired from Swedish retailer H&M due to the recent incriminating photos of her dropping a mysterious bag of white powder believed to be cocaine out of her purse. And for those of you watching us on YouTube, or if you go to our website, we have a picture of this. H&M employed Delevingne earlier this year as the face of its divided clothing line and used her in a fashion show. H&M is well known for its zero tolerance policy towards drugs. They fired spokeswoman Kate Moss back in 2005 for being busted with cocaine. When asked to comment, the retailer coyly said, "We are not currently using Cara Delevingne in any of our campaigns." As a policy, H&M does not typically place models under contract that extends beyond a single campaign. So, what do you guys think about this?
It's awesome.
Why is she like all
H&M,
crazy in that picture?
Yeah.
Grabbing it.
Yeah.
she's like, holy cow!
Is that what a panic attack looks like?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Dropping it.
First of all, how do they even get this shot?
Yeah,
it's
right?
Just, it's baffling to
Paparazzi.
me. How did they even get this shot? Second of all, you brought up a good point. You know, when you were explaining this, Kate Moss, we all know, got she got caught for
Let's
doing this
go.
a couple years ago, but her career, you know,
It's still.
it's fine. It came back on track. I do think it's important that they, set an example and have a no tolerance policy.
And if they have a no tolerance policy, like actually putting it in effect.
Well,
is-
to clarify
Yeah.
this, H&M is not flat out saying that's why they didn't bring her back,
Oh,
but there's a
okay.
lot of speculation as to this is the reason why.
Okay.
And I have to say whether, that's the reason why H&M is bringing her back. I think it is important. I think,
Yeah.
if you're going to hire someone as a spokesmodel for your company, and I think something like this, whereas, especially more so with Kate Moss as well, if you're presenting a certain image of your brand, you want to bring people on as spokespeople that embody that.
Right.
And, people
From
are
the-
human and they slip, but
From the point of view, really quick, of someone, I've been around all these high profile people, and sometimes they like to mess with the press and mess with their contracts. For all we know, she wants to get out of her H&M contract for another one. Because who is photographing this girl? Paparazzi are called. She plants that. She doesn't care. She's a model. She says everybody else does it. She might want to get out of H&M, and next thing we know, in 3 months, she might be doing something bigger.
True that.
And this was all a setup. She looks a little too happy.
I know she's.
I know. It's
So
just
unless
a
she-
weird
I mean,
shot.
maybe she
well, I
just
don't
had
think she
some
had I
fun.
don't think there was like a contract that was out there that she was trying to get out of. It was like they didn't renew her, bring her
Gotcha.
back. But supposedly the background story to this too is that I think it was within the next week or so, or even a couple days, she on Instagram a photo of her and Sienna Miller kissing on the lips, and they say it had to do with the fact that she was trying to deflect the attention away from this photo because it went
Okay.
crazy.
Let's
all
fight fire
over.
with fire
Yeah.
here, people.
Yeah.
So
With a girl kiss,
and this
okay.
and the thing with H&M
I like that so
happened
much more than the
months.
Coke there.
Yeah, the thing with H&M happened months later. So they're saying, oh, nobody cared, but now months later,
I see.
It's coming back.
exactly.
Interesting.
So that's your style scoop for you guys this week.
All right, so I think it's time to get to know our special guest
Yeah.
here, Mr. Musto.
Get to know me. Ask me anything.
Questions.
Open
The
book.
briefs.
Well, before we, get to some
Box of
serious
briefs.
questions, we have a little game we like to play to get to know you. It's called Fact or
Okay.
Fiction. Fact or Fiction.
Okay.
Okay, so
As long as there's no dare at the end of that game.
I will read the first fact or fiction for you. So, fact or fiction. Daniel has styled a ton of celebrities, including Karina Smirnoff, Paris Hilton, and Jenny McCarthy. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
That's a
So
fact.
tell us about your roster of clients.
They're all really fun. I tend to get the girls that like were once in Playboy and now they want a new look, and it's really special for me because it's not easy. It's not easy being the guy that has to pull somebody out of an image that they were in the past. So that's a lot of fun for me, and a few of those girls were in that, actually all of them were in that realm. And I also get to dress, I work with Kendra Wilkinson, and she's a lot of fun because we almost have like, you see the transformation every time that she leaves the house in a look that I put together, and she always says, I'm graduating, like I feel like I'm graduating. So it's special to really change someone's entire image based upon an outfit. It's cool.
Have you ever gotten resistance from them? Like, especially people who are trying to change, what, people's perceptions of them. Like, are they like, no, I don't want to do that? Like,
You'll get resistance sometimes, but what I'll do is I'll do a little bit like you get 1, I get 5. So I'll say, okay, you want to wear that? You wear that. I'm not taking credit for anything you just did. You go out, this is yours, you styled yourself, tell all the press you did yourself. And when you get worse dressed, you will now wear 5 things that I say with no comment.
Do you have sort of like a I want a policy mantra idea, because you're dealing with women, especially the women coming from Playboy, and sort of marrying this idea, because the end Hollywood is still sex, but marrying, sort of bringing them over to the sexy side that is not necessarily Playboy trashy. Like, how do you sort of approach that?
If sexy made them popular, you need to stay with sexy, just in a different form. And sex comes in many forms. Sometimes sex can be a turtleneck dress that fits skin tight from head to toe, long sleeves with gloves attached.
Yeah.
That could be sexy to somebody. So we play with the game of, you have 3. You have your cleavage, you have your arms, and you have your legs. Show 1.5 of them. Show your legs and half your arms. Show your legs and just your cleavage and cover your arms up. You play with about 1.5 of those things. And you're always, you will never be looked at by other women with that look they give you. You know that look, like, what is that girl doing?
wearing?
Walking past my husband looking like that. I do not want to have sex tonight.
Slut with a capital S.
all right, you want to read the next one?
Sure. All right. Fact or fiction? Daniel contributes to Us Weekly, and the popular Fashion Police feature slamming celebrities on their interesting fashion choices.
That's a fact, but we're not always slamming. I like to be the Paula of that. I like to be the Paula of that American Idol.
You find a nugget of goodness
I
somewhere.
like to play around with what they've done. I like to pay homage to their movies they've been in, TV shows they've been on, relationships they've been on, and mix it up with a fun fashion term.
So, go ahead.
I have a question for you that maybe our listeners might appreciate too. So, being a celebrity stylist and dealing with all different kinds of shapes and figures and all that, what's like your rules of style when it comes to finding something that looks great on a person, or maybe just in general?
I think the safest space to be in is to dress yourself as you feel comfortable, and then ask your 3 closest friends what they think. It doesn't matter what your acquaintances, your strangers, it doesn't really matter what they think. Your friends know you really well, and they'll pull you slightly out of some bad habits that you might have on the style front. But if you're staying close to what's comfortable on you, what you think is best, but sometimes you look different to other people than you do to yourself, and they have good advice, and it helps you transition maybe out of bad habits, maybe things that are outdated. We've all had a dad or a mom that still wears those pants, and it takes their closest family members and friends to say, don't do that anymore. And then after a few times, they transition into something better. So that's a nice rule for me.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
And go to your stylist, too, if you're my client. Don't fire me and only ask your friends' opinions.
Now, here's what I want to know. I want to know, has anyone that you've ever styled ended up on one of these back pages of Us Weekly and you've had to say something about them?
Not when I dress them. I mean, I used to dress Fantasia years ago, and then she came back and she did American Idol.
Oh, we're
and
going to be talking about
that
her.
crazy look. And she, got slammed for it. And it makes me sad. It makes me sad that I wasn't there by her side.
Yeah, helping
make
her
it
out.
better.
Wow.
Because she's so much fun.
There's still
Well,
time.
I guess we'll get to her later.
Yeah, we'll get to her
Yes,
later.
there's still time. All right, let's see. We've got a third one here. So, fact or fiction? Daniel helped convince Britney Spears to shave her head for her new look a few years ago.
Now, I did not. You're in so much trouble. I knew there was a secret coming up.
I love that I got
Okay. I was at Britney's house, not working with her, just as a friend, like 3 weeks or so before she shaved her head. and was there while she was getting her hair done, and she seemed fussy about getting her hair extensions in. She didn't like it so much, and I had a shaved head at the time. And she looked at me.
God.
She looked at me and said, "Dan, I just wish I had hair like you, because you don't have to deal with any of this stuff." And I was like, "Oh, okay." You know, I gave her that little push that you give your girlfriends. Oh, like, oh, cute, oh, hysterical, funny.
Wait, what was the push? Oh, you should do it?
Half the words in my mouth there.
Girl, you're so silly. Oh, girl, you're so silly.
And 3
Like,
weeks
what's
Like, so
later.
silly. How dare you even think that?
Yes.
You crazy. And then I guess that night was the last time I had seen her. I've seen her. And a few weeks later, we got the word that she shaved her head, and I went into hiding. Just kidding.
So, do you believe or think there was any truth to the fact that she was shaving her head to get away from blood testing or from hair testing for drugs?
I think it was a pure panic attack. I think she was a lost little girl, and I think that her hair was it's just like Oprah making this statement. Her hair was a representation of her. If you watch So You Think You Can Dance, in the first season, I think it was, they had the hair dancers on the show, and they would be compared to Britney. They would dance to Britney because they were hair dancers, and they had blonde hair, and they'd swing it around and do Britney stuff with it. So I think she saw her hair as something that was fussed with every day. She probably doesn't love her hair because that shit is brittle, and it's not,
it's
you
been
know.
through some things.
It's been through some stuff. It's been
Yeah.
flat ironed to be fried. You know, I'm sure she doesn't even have to cut it. It just kind of falls off. So I'm assuming that she just was having a bit of a release.
A moment.
You know those times when you just like throw all your clothes out?
I've been there
It was
and I
one of
shaved my
those.
head too, so I get it. Yeah.
You'd be good with that. I need a picture of that.
Yeah, that was a while ago. It's been a while. I almost had that moment when the day Beyonce shaved hers. I was like, girl, I was having that same
did.
feeling because the fro was all
Oh.
over, and I was like this close. And
When
we're
I first
so
shaved
glad
my
you
head, I
didn't
had
do
a
it.
ton of hair, and I
Yeah.
hated fussing with it every day.
exhausting.
And I stayed with a shaved head for like 3 years because it was
Yeah.
just easy army boy every day.
Yep. Close
Yeah.
cut, slick down, all good.
All right, well, we have one more fact or fiction question for you. So, fact or fiction, Daniel is an alumni of FIT in New York City.
Sort of. I went to FIT in high school on the weekend, and I studied fashion design, thinking I was going to be a fashion designer. And then I ended up moving to LA because I loved entertainment too, and went to FIDM downtown LA.
FIDM.
So I took my education from FIT in high school, brought it here, thought I was going to be a fashion designer, cried myself to sleep every night because I couldn't use a sewing machine or make a pattern for my LIFE. And 3 months later, I was in the styling program in visual communications, which I highly recommend to anybody who wants to study fashion but doesn't really know what they want to get into yet. It's almost like a general study if you do visual
And
communications.
for those listening, FIT is the Fashion
Institute
of
of
Technology,
In New York.
and in New York, and FITM is the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in LA. And if you're into fashion and that's what you want to do, those are amazing
It's great.
institutions.
All ages, all colors, all parts of the world. Everybody all comes together under one roof to make people pretty. So
Yep.
it's a lot of fun.
Did you find yourself as a child growing up in New Jersey, like, trying to style your mom or friends or
course I
whatever
did.
all the time? Like, I think you need
My
to
mom
add,
tells
you
me from
know.
the moment I had a facial expression, she knew to change her top. I'd be in that room being like,
Wait, since you're in the hot seat, one thing I want to know.
Uh-huh.
So, what are trends that we've got to watch out for that are coming up for fall?
Trends are tough for me because I'm in a space of which I need to create the trend. So I don't really study trends. Obviously, they're injected into my brain naturally through billboards, magazines, friends, runway shows. That all kind of comes. But for me, it's sort of my job to be the person placing new looks on people so that when they are on the red carpet or they are on a billboard, we're starting something new. But I do love, and it's timeless, but I love it for fall because it covers up a little more, is the t-shirt dress that's made of a fabric that's not jersey. So I just love a little cap sleeve with a crew neck, whatever, if you want a pencil length, if you want it to be a little short, if you want it to the ground. I think that's always really special for the fall, but do it in like a silk or a thicker fabric. Even a fun like interior design, couchy kind of fabric is always fun. I'm actually, Alexis Knapp from Pitch Perfect. She plays the slutty girl. I'm dressing her for Teen Choice Awards on Sunday, and what we've decided on is a great little crew necky, t-shirty kind of look made of like a couch fabric, and it's gorgeous. So
Interesting.
look out for that.
All right. Look out for her on the red carpet.
Great. Love that. And before we move on to one of my favorite segments, I just want to remind everybody to make sure you check us out on iTunes. We are Black Hollywood Live, Fashion 411. You can download us for free. And I'm going to remind you guys again that we are the #1 fashion podcast. Thank you. #1.
Download us, rate us.
Yes, download us, rate us. You can also
Tell your
check us.
friends.
Tell your friends.
Make comments.
Make comments. Check us
Yes.
out on YouTube as well. But we just keep it coming, keep us #1.
You knew us first.
Yes.
So you can tell all your friends that this is a new trend and they all need to follow it.
They need to follow. We
Right.
give you a little something different when it comes to fashion. All right, so it's time for Hot or Hot Mess.
Dun, 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 dun.
So for Daniel, what we do, we check out a few pictures of celebrities around town, and we decide if they're hot or a hot,
hot
mess.
mess.
Okay, Erica.
So up first, we've got Mariah Carey on August 5th at the Butler premiere in New York City. So the crooner hit the carpet with her husband Nick Cannon in a studded arm sling, little black dress, and Valentino pumps. What do you guys think about Mimi keeping it real
This
with
girl
her
cannot leave the
arm
hospital.
cast?
I love the way that she's integrated her broken arm into her outfit. I think it's just wonderful.
I think it's awesome.
I think it's absolutely amazing. Like,
It's so her. I mean, if anybody else did it, I would
We'd be
slam
like,
them
"Oh
right
my
now.
God."
But you know that her pretty little mind that loves her butterflies is like,
And glitter.
I am not leaving in just a black sling. We need to stud this thing, and I don't care what you got to do.
yeah,
Go to Michael's, go somewhere, Joanne Fabrics, get whatever you need, and make this thing sparkle.
Make it
You know,
sparkle.
The only thing I don't like is the
Hate the
headband.
headband.
It looks like she's ready to wash her face.
Yeah, it's not working
But
at all.
everything
Oh,
else
that's
I
like a
love.
stab at her because she probably can't wash her face.
Oh.
Oh, making fun of
You're
purple.
right. Her right hand is immobile.
She has
so-
people to do that.
Wash your face with one hand.
know.
Come on, you don't need two for that. You know, I love the blinged out sling. I mean, she
Yeah.
did it at the BET Awards.
Exactly.
And I think this is one of the things that's going to go down in like the books of fashion history,
bling?
the sling bling, because from my understanding, I don't think we've ever seen anybody else do this. And she's made multiple appearances with multiple different slings, all coordinating her dress. I think it's fantastic. I think it's
Yeah.
amazing.
I think
and,
it's Deanna's Halloween costume.
and we couldn't expect anything less.
And shout out to her.
So good.
Shout out to Mariah though, for real, because she does not often wear dresses that I personally think accentuate her body very well. And I think at least here she looks shapely and nice. And I mean, it's not the most exciting dress in the world, but
though.
she
And the
looks
sling
nice.
covers the cleavage a
Yes,
little bit.
and the shoes are getting it
right.
for me. So yeah, the cleavage thing.
Half the
It
cleavage.
looks like it's to her belly button, but she put the sling over it. So
And the
we thought,
sling is
you
on
know,
display,
maybe.
you know? The
Yes.
sling is the actual focal point of her outfit, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Just her normal focal point is like making the audience motorboat her photo.
Yes.
So here she's covering it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good length. Legs
okay.
are good.
What's
She's
up
doing
next?
it.
All right. So up next, we've got Daniel's old friend, Fantasia Barrino, on August 5th at the Butler premiere as well in New York City. So she flashed her abdomen in a crop top, a Zara gold pencil skirt, and Jimmy Choo animal print metallic pumps.
I like it.
I kind of like
Fanny.
it.
Yeah, I guess I kind of like it too.
Dude, I don't like it.
I'm so used to just her looking really, really ratchet.
Very terrible.
I'm not used to seeing her look put together, but it's actually not bad. It's not bad.
I like, my rule too is jersey fabric needs to be above the waist. And she did that. She wore something more expensive looking on the bottom. Obviously it's Zara, so it's not a chunk of change. And I'm not mad at it. I think there's something really like special. There's something very music about it.
Yes, it's very Grammy to me, like Grammy's award show. I would like the skirt to come up a little bit, because is that her belly button? Or what is that? I don't know what that is.
It's her second belly button.
I think it's a shadow.
Okay, maybe it's a shadow, but I think I would like the waistline of the skirt a little bit higher to sort of close that
little
gap a
Adrienne
little bit.
Bailon.
Yeah, she had it right. She had it right, and I think the tats on the legs kind of look like tights, which are interesting.
Yeah, I thought those were. I wasn't sure if it was tattoos or tights.
They're tattoos.
Okay.
Yeah, they're her
I've seen them.
tats, so that's interesting. I think her makeup and hair is cool, and it looks very musician-like. So
She needs to smile.
And
Okay,
she
but
lost
I
all
gotta
that
hear
weight, so
I
she
gotta
looks
hear
good.
Erica's.
You know, I'm
comments on
not
this.
really a fan. I think this is an opportunity for her to come out in something something more, I don't know, just more put together. And because, she's back on Broadway. She's on a show called After Midnight. And that's going to be starting on October 18th. So she's kind of out now in the limelight again. And I think it was an opportunity for her to throw something together maybe a little bit more, I'd say, like, fashionable. I mean, I know you're the stylist and you like it, but I think for, like, well, the skirt, I know you said, Daniel, that you thought it looked more expensive, but to me, I like the top, I like the necklace, I like the hair, I like everything except for the skirt, and I think the skirt looks really cheap and it cheapens the whole look.
What skirt would you insert instead? I like to play the game of let's fix it.
Yeah, so I was almost thinking something, just the color threw me off. So not as a metallic-y of a gold, but more of a muted.
A matte gold.
Matted
That
gold.
could be pretty.
And that would look more of a richer leather.
Champagne would even be nice.
Exactly. But that shiny yellow gold is what's throwing the whole look off
now
for me.
I see. I'm in your head.
Are you in my head? You're in my brain? You got it? And I would have loved to see her, because I was a huge fan of her back on American Idol and everything, and she does have a very edgy look to her, but I think she's on Broadway now. She's she's in a different world, and she's raised her status in some ways.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
she's out there, and I think it was an opportunity.
I love those
wasted.
shoes.
The shoes are to die right
I
now.
love the shoes. Love the shoes.
I think now that she's lost that weight, I think she is trying to reinvent herself, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to her style. Because before she didn't have the greatest looks when she was
for that
young.
month I spent with
Oh,
her.
just
Okay, only for the month.
Daniel, her stylist.
It's been a while. Daniel
been-
hasn't
that's
been
been-
there
that's
for
been a
while.
while.
She's been
It's
through
been a
some
while.
things. She
She's-
was at home in
Yes.
North Carolina, getting back together.
She was learning how to read,
Yeah.
just all that.
Oh, Tiana.
Diana.
I
You are going to be blacklisted from Black Hollywood
That
Live.
was too easy.
It's okay for a Fantasia.
It was
It's
too easy.
okay.
I'm sorry. We love you here. How about we just move on to the next picture?
All right, we'll move on. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a comparison here. Jada Pinkett Smith and Bella Thorne wearing the same dress. They're wearing the same Azadine Alaya dress, which was on the runway recently. And it's from the fall 2013 collection.
What's the name of that white girl?
Bella Thorne.
Bella
What's the name of that
Thorne.
white girl?
Bella Thorne.
Well, I don't know why Bella put on them green shoes with it. Like, was she trying? I could see there's flecks of green in the dress, and I guess she was probably
She was
trying to
trying
pull
real
it
She's trying
out.
to match the billboard
And
for
trying to-
planes
But
behind her.
it ju-
Sometimes we do that.
but Bella,
She
honey,
wanted to give us something to talk about.
Actually, no, I'm mistaken.
What?
The dress is from Blue Girl.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm going
or
to say
Blue
Azadine
Fin.
Alaya was
Yeah,
going in a different
that's not-
direction, but I was
that's-
happy.
Jada
Agreed.
Pinkett's shoes
Are
wore
Azadine
Azadine.
Alaya.
Yeah,
There we go.
That
exactly.
makes sense.
I was like,
Got
why
it.
is that right? So it's it's an Italian line, started in 1977. And
Yeah, we love Blue Girl. I think that Halle Berry is sipping from Beyonce's white girl juice. I think she's like
No, Jada Pinkett.
No, it's Jada Pinkett Smith.
Wait, what happened?
Now we're on the subject.
Hallie is
Not
very
all
pregnant
the
right now.
I think they had a party, all three of them. That's
You
what I
can't
think.
come on Black Hollywood Live and think we all look the same, Daniel.
Listen, I'm the gay boy in your pocket, okay? You be nice to me.
You know what?
I was
See,
wondering, wait,
we
real
both-
quick. I was
we at
wondering if
the
the
same time.
silence made me really uncomfortable. I'm like, they must not agree.
you know what? Seeing the dress on the runway look, I like it better than these two, than Jada and Bella Thorne, because I like that she's wearing it with a nude shoe and it's clean, like that shoe just blends into her leg and it's just the dress on display. Whereas Jada in the middle, she's got that shoe, it's got like red and pink in it, and it's like this lace-up
Trying
strappy.
too
It's just
hard.
too much. But I do like it from the runway. I don't like it. I
I
don't
do
like
too.
how it was styled on the
Yeah,
other
I don't
two.
like it styled, and I think it feels juvenile to me. And on Jada, I feel like she's like, I'm a cute little girl with long hair, and it looks ridiculous to me. And then Bella Thorne, I don't understand your shoes at all. I actually could have been okay with the dress on her because I feel like it suits her energy, at least from that picture, a little bit better. But whoever told you to wear them green shoes lied, girl.
Ooh.
They
So-
lied.
Courtney, I totally agree with the juvenile. This dress is very youthful, and I actually think it looks really beautiful on both the women. But Bella, she's 15, and Jada, she's 41. So this, to me, does look like something more of a younger type of dress. And I
Yeah.
think Bella, I think she looks great, and I like the shoes. What's throwing me off with the shoes is a closed toe. I think if they were open toe, and maybe. I love the green shoes on this, but I wish they were open toe. On Jada, it is the shoes that's completely messing it up, and it's very youthful and young. Even though I still think she looks beautiful, but it's too young of a dress, in my opinion.
I agree with Courtney when she says it matches her energy. That's a really huge statement for me to even hear, because I feel like I do that, and I don't really realize I'm matching the energy when I dress people. So I think that's a really great statement for that piece. It matches her energy. She has that youthful energy. Not only is she young,
Yeah.
but she has the energy.
And by no means am I saying that Jada is old.
No.
or
No,
just
no.
making
Bella's
that
just
clear.
real young.
Just
Like,
that,
Bella's
you know,
young.
Bella's
Oh, she's
like a kid.
15.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
15, and
She's a baby.
there's
Yeah.
something sophisticated and
Mature.
stronger about Jada that I feel like this dress is competing with.
I like
that-
when Jada gets a little
Tough.
pulls out the whips.
Tough.
Yeah, she
that's
does the leather.
Because that is
Yeah.
her true energy. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't expect it as
Exactly.
much.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. But it's a
Okay.
beautiful dress, regardless.
All right. So next we've got Jennifer Hudson. Here she is at the Do Something Awards red carpet. So J Hud showed her wild side in a mixed animal pattern Versace blouse, shorts, and white studded ankle strap pumps. What's the verdict, guys?
The zoo called. They want their top back.
Stop hating on the animals.
I love a good animal print. I
Yes.
love a leopard. I love a cheetah. I love animal prints. I don't like this mixed media. It looks like it's a cow on the sleeves, and it looks like it's
What
like
cows are you hanging out with?
cheetah in the body. I just don't like it mixed up that way.
Girl, she looked like she about to go to the club in Chicago with her cousins.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
It does not.
I feel like she raided the Real Housewives of Miami closet.
It just
When you have a pattern on and it's near your neck, which is usually a top or a dress, that takes the place of a necklace as well. You're doing it
Yes.
really well right now. You have a pattern on, and you also have the sparkle detail on your
dress?
on the neckline, but you're not doing a necklace.
No, and I purposely did not do a necklace because there's too much going
Yeah,
on.
Eric has a black and white pattern, looks great. There, she did a great bracelet, which is fun, but your pattern is an accessory in itself, so you don't need the belt, you don't need that little whatever it is on your ankle down there.
Yeah,
it's
like
just way too much
ankle
stuff. I actually don't mind just the little skirt or shorts, whatever that is,
with
and the
the
top,
jacket.
a little white pump out the door, not maybe a little stud in your ear and whatever ring you want to throw on, but there's just too many
Things
extra
happening.
things.
yeah, agreed.
She looks awesome though. Her body's like
She
amazing
gets smaller
now.
and smaller.
My
She's
Yeah,
like
God.
the
she
Black
does,
Olsen
yeah.
twin.
Yeah, she does get really tiny. But
Those
this,
twins are already small.
Yeah.
They don't get smaller. They're just
That's
small.
true.
not unless they disappear. All right, Jennifer, it's hot mess. Moving on.
All right. So last but
Courtney
not
can't breathe.
least, we've got Eva Longoria. She's here at the Starlight Gala in España. She's wearing a white David Kuma sculptural dress that you can find for $1,125. And she's wearing Cassidy blade pumps for $790.
Now, Daniel, I know that you've worked with Ms. Longoria.
I've never.
So-
Well, actually, when I was an assistant, we dressed her for I think Allure it was, and then I also styled Ready for Love, which she produced for NBC, short-lived dating show. And then I think she looks super happy, and she's wearing white because it's fun. And I was just with her at dinner like a few weeks ago with her and her new boyfriend Ernesto, who was one of our guys on the show.
On the
Uh-huh,
show.
Yeah,
Yes.
She's so happy. Like
That's
she was
great.
they were just so thrilled to be with each other, and she looks like she's glowing here too. Not to start any glowing rumors.
Glowing and growing.
I think she looks great. This is like basic and simple and effortless, and she knew that she's making a good choice when she left the house.
The thing with Eva Longoria, where she always gets it right, is her tailoring because she's so petite, and dresses, tend to overwhelm a petite frame. And she's always, even when she's wearing a long dress, everything is so tailored and fitted to her. And usually you see Eva in bright colors. That's more of her kind of signature. But I love this white
She
dress
is
on
itty
her.
bitty. She's like you. She's so tiny.
she's tiny.
But when we photographed her laying down on a couch for this one shot, and she looked 10 feet tall because she's proportionate and also everything hits her at the right spots. So a little something to do if you're on the smaller side, go on Google. Say you got a pencil skirt. You bought a pencil skirt. Go online and search pencil skirt runway, because those girls are all tall wearing that stuff. See where it hits them on their body and get it altered to hit you on your body that way, and it will make you
That's a good tip.
appear taller in photos. It'll hit in all the right spots because it was done by the designer to fit that type of person. So
There you go,
That's a
ladies.
great tip.
That
And
is
that's
a
what she does.
fantastic
You know,
tip.
if you look here, it hits her in all the spots that it would on a tall girl. That's why she looks
Tall.
5'11".
Exactly.
There's a
Those
key
legs
to
look-
dressing tall when you're short, and she does it right every time. So.
That's
Ding, ding, ding.
She looks
Great
good. Ding, ding,
tip.
ding. Hot. Keep it moving,
Hot.
girls. She looks fantastic.
So it's time to round it out with our social media roundup. What do you got, Courtney?
All right. Well, we're just closing out because as we were speaking earlier, we had lots of ladies and lots of hair going on this time around. And first up, we have Miss K. Michelle, who's been in the news this week because for those of you who know or care, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta started their reunions this week and it was flying around Twitter like crazy. So K. Michelle on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, she's actually moving to Love and Hip Hop New York for those of you that are fans and care. But she's very, very well known for this fire engine red hair that she usually has. And she's promoting her album. Her album cover has this fire engine red hair. She was on the reunion with the fire engine red hair and a bob. But then she showed up this
Switched
week
it
and
up.
switched it up to blonde because she wants to be like Beyonce.
She inherited Beyonce's hair when she cut it off.
Exactly. Beyonce chopped it off and handed it off to
you
K.
go.
Michelle.
And
So
what's it with
did.
reality stars and the fire red hair?
I'm
Like
not-
Snooki. Snooki had that
I'm not
long red.
sure.
Maybe it just makes them memorable and
Yeah.
stand out amongst everybody else in the cast, you know?
Perhaps.
Or they want to be
Or
like
in the
Rihanna.
world.
Yeah. She wants to be a star like Rihanna. Well, either way, she's a blonde now, guys, in case you love her. She's also wearing some interesting 80s sort of throwback
Little mama something or
high-waisted
other.
jeans and some booties and a bandaged sheer top. So she's trying to sex it up. She's trying to be a little different. And she also perhaps admitted that her butt is fake. Just a little
Oh,
scoop
God. Fake booties.
to the radio.
Like surgery fake or like butt pads?
I would like
underwear?
to know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's pads because as she walked down the red carpet of the BET Awards, it was definitely not pads because pads don't quite lump up like that. But,
Pads don't got cellulite.
but I always thought that that's what I was like at the BET Awards. I assumed it had to be real because you saw all of that. But
Yeah.
then I remembered Miss Oprah, in all of her wisdom, one time on her show said, any kind of liposuction or fat injections, fat goes into weird places.
Oh.
And it can move and do
interesting.
things. So if it is the truth, that might be why it was lumpy. But anyway, it doesn't matter,
It's a
kids.
whole nother show.
Blondes have more fun, so good luck with your album, K. Michelle, and we'll be seeing you on Love and Hip Hop in New York. Next up, we have the lovely and beautiful Megan Good. She has changed up her hair also. Most of you know she's been wearing a short, one-sided, sort of shaved off on one side, shorter hair. And she's put the locks back in, and she's also made them purple. So she's got
It
purple
looks like a
extensions.
filter. It don't even look like
It
it's
does.
It's actually
yeah.
that, and that was a better picture. It was a little bit older than the one she put up this week, but it's actually the purple ends all the way through.
I
all
wonder if this
purple
is for a
highlights.
movie role or something like that, or if it's just, hey, I want to change up my look because it's
she's a
pretty
little-
racy.
I mean, she's pretty into doing some interesting things. She's always throwing in feathers and doing different stuff when she's
Yeah.
not actually working. So I actually think it might be because she's not working that she is getting to change it up a little
And
bit.
she could
and
flip
have some
that hair
fun.
over for auditions and all of her
She can
stuff.
flip her hair back and
I
forth
have
all
to
she
say
wants.
though, I'm tired of the shaved side.
That was
I
my
really
next question.
am.
You
It's
led right
just
into it. Are we
so
done?
Over, I'm over it.
I mean,
So over. I was never under it.
Are you sure?
Love it. I was never
I
onto it.
mean, it's just. I mean, I think Cassie was the one
Cassie
who
kind of
who started the
first
trend.
to notice it. Yeah.
And now it's like everybody's doing it, and it doesn't look great on everybody. And it's just not a practical hairstyle. I mean, it's great. It's rock and roll if it suits your personality.
Yeah.
I don't know if that suits who she is. I don't see her as this rock and roll, racy, kind of a girl. Maybe that is who she is. I don't know. But
Something to think about.
I mean,
Either way, she's purple now,
Yeah.
and she's excited, so we're happy for her.
You hope.
I hope so. I mean, if you didn't do it to yourself and you don't like it. In the end, hair is our accessory. So
Yeah.
play, and have a good
You
time.
can chop it off like Beyonce.
Yes, and maybe be as beautiful. Last up, we have the lovely Kim Kimble, who is getting her own sort of moment in the sunshine and stars, even though she's been working, obviously, in this business for a very long time. She did the big 3-pound Oprah wig. She is obviously Beyonce's stylist and quite a few other lady stylists, and she's starring in LA Hair right now, and she is posing with her long locked wig for Hype Hair magazine. So she's being featured this week, and she made comments just basically because she's being asked sort of, a lot of her hairstyles and a lot of the things that she does are long weaves for Black women. And so her commentary about Beyonce and the commentary about the Oprah wig was sort of surrounding this idea that, well, do you really like natural hair? I mean, you're supporting this whole long hair Black women thing? And she said, I love it all. I love all textures. I like to play with what I want to play with. And every woman, especially Black women, should feel like they should do that.
Why not? You have the opportunity to switch it up.
Yes.
One of my best
fun.
girlfriends has had a weave for like 2 or 3 years, and she decided I'm just going to take all my hair out, and she has the most beautiful, healthy hair because it hasn't been touched by
'cause it
anything.
hasn't been touched.
So it was a
Why?
fun way for her to, practice with it.
yeah, and
Let
it's
her-
fun.
let her know.
Yeah, and it's an accessory, and you can just play and do what you want to do.
It's like your nails. It's like a scarf. Just put it on. That's why wigs are fabulous.
And it's such your hair, and like we saw with Oprah and Beyonce, it's such an expression of who you are.
It
And
is.
it's like what your mood is too. I mean, they say the number one thing that women do when they have a bad breakup, they go to the hairstylist and change up their hair. Because
Yep.
it's, and like even Britney talking about that. It's like it's so much of who you are, and a lot of it too brings history with it. And to change it, it's like starting fresh or starting new and moving on. So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Making it happen, ladies.
Making it happen. All
right.
right. So I can't believe it's been an hour.
I know.
It's
Can we do a
been
second
the
hour?
show.
Talking.
Well, we're gonna have you back.
Do we get
because
our own
this is so
reunion
much
show too?
fun.
We should have one. That would be so much fun.
Like, I cannot believe he said that.
What are you talking about?
Did you hear
invited
Dion
him?
say that they can't read?
Yeah.
Well, I want to remind you guys to make sure you download us on iTunes. It's completely free. We want to thank Daniel Musto for joining us today. It's been so much fun. So much fun. I think we need to have him back. Let's
Maybe.
just go around the table, and where can we find everybody?
Well, I'm your host, Erica Garcia Rojas, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at IamEGR.
And you can find me, Courtney Stewart, on Twitter and Instagram at Stewart Starlet.
I'm Daniel Musto, and you can find me on Instagram at Daniel Musto. Send me photos of your outfits, and I will tell you what I think.
Ooh, listen to that.
You can also tweet me at Daniel R. Musto.
And
Wow.
tag Fashion411 when you
That's
do
free
it.
styling
Yeah, tag
advice.
along.
Wow. And I'm
Woohoo.
Deanna Vaughn. You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at It's Me, Deanna V. And really quickly, I just wanted to let you guys know 50limes.com. They're a friend to the show. You guys can go on there. You can get a discount for 20% off only for BHL Fashion 411 listeners for the next week or so. So I just wanted to plug them. And thank you, Daniel.
Thank you for having me.
So much fun.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Dario Kristen, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network. If you have questions or comments, tweet us at BHL Online or email us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. For more exclusive content, visit blackhollywoodlive.com. This has been a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.